Paul O'Brien, it's the full name, and based out of Cork. And at the minute, I'm the global lead for the Orion Group Sciences in the State of the Work project-based resourcing section of the business. So something new that I brought to this side of the business over the last 6 or 7 months. So we're working with clients now we have operations in the US, we have operations in Holland at the moment, UK, and also here in Ireland. So that's kind of the remit that I have at the minute, is the global lead for project-based resourcing statement of work. To be honest, Glandore as not only just somewhere where you can have an office, but it's also a community. I think people don't really realize that until you actually go there, how much of a community it is. And it starts from the very first meeting you have. Even I met Danielle first. Straight away, you're shown around, you're shown where the setting is just exceptional. So even for me bringing people there, even before I moved in, I was already thinking, yeah, I could have meetings here, I could have events here, I could do everything. And then the community that's set up in Glandore as well with the different businesses, everybody's really in it together. That was the feeling I got from it. And yeah, it's just an exceptional place. So that was middle of 2019 when I first set up in Glandore in Cork. For me, it's been a part of it. There's a great community spirit and everybody seems to help each other out. And that's even for Irish people here in Ireland, or even when we go abroad. As I said, we have operations across multiple territories. So even when we go abroad, there's always a link there somewhere, and it's the same here in Ireland. So to bring in the investment, like the Orion Group as an overarching entity is Scottish. So they would have seen the Irish market as somewhere to really have a springboard into the life sciences side of that sector, because we have a big sector of it here. So then it gives a big springboard. And again, the Irish connections has really followed through on that side of it. So not only bringing investment into Ireland, but it also led to further revenue coming in from different territories because of it. So yeah, that's a big draw. It's the community spirit here, and there's a lot of there's very good networking and opportunities that way. Like everyone, even Simon Coveney at the time had come over and gave up time to open up our office as well. So we had a photo shoot outside of the Glandore facility. And even at that side of it, even though we were bringing in the investment then to create jobs and to create direct and indirect jobs on that front, he still gave up his time to come and cut the ribbon for us as well. And that at the time he was the Taoiseach. So even to do that, to come along for us, just shows the willingness you'd have even from national government, but also there's a huge effort from guys on local government, from Cork City Council specifically, and even the Leo offices that are around. They all can't do enough to help, which is incredible as well. So that just goes to show, if your other person you interviewed yesterday was saying about the networking side of it, that's huge here too. And even Cork Chamber, I'd like to give them a special mention as well. They've always been very, very good to me. Deirdre Griffin, Annie Fitzgibbon, Conor Healy, they've been absolutely incredible. So again, that everybody's here to help to make sure your businesses thrive. And Glandore, even from a facility, is incredible on that side as well, because it looks after not only you as a business, but it also look after the people you employ. You know, there's always events, there's networking. They do things in the morning. We have breakfast meetings, and even bringing people in for little treats as well. Glandore, it's exceptional on that side of it. That was really appreciated by the people I have working with me as well. Not only is it just a great space to come in and work, but there's also so much to do outside of work as well from Glandore. So it all ties into a great mix. Join Glandore. Yeah, in a nutshell, join that office space, because that gives you a very good springboard to network. That's great. You really help people out on that front to give them a signpost to say where and what and who you might be able to join different networks. So from that side of it, if you're even, so I believe Twitter had come first and set up their Dublin operations and worked out of the Glandore space. So that just goes to show the springboard of what type of companies that have worked with you guys over the years, you know, so big employers as well in Ireland. But there's multiple ways that people probably set themselves up, but getting into an office facility such as the Glandore network, I think is very, very good for any starting point. And even at that side of it, I wouldn't be shy to say as well, Sarah, I've had other friends in business that I would say, if you're setting up operations come from Dublin to Cork, look at that facility as a springboard. And I wholeheartedly mean that. I think that side of it is very good. It gives you a good footing to start off In my honest opinion, I really, really do think that. It depends. For me, it was always the way I would have worked anyway, is put the trust in people around me anyway. So the working from home side of things was not necessarily very new or alien to ourselves. It was just more alien, I suppose, because we had to do it for such a sustained period of time. But definitely the hybrid model of people working from home and having an office space to come in and have something. The bigger offices probably will come back at some stage once vaccination problem comes through and we get to a certain level of herd immunity, all that stuff that we hear in the news every day. But for smaller to medium enterprises, maybe just the hybrid model would be a big draw for people as well, to know that you can have the flexibility to work from home, takes a little bit of pressure off family life, and then also have somewhere to go to get away from the family life, if that makes sense. You know, that you can go and sit down in the office, be around your colleagues for a time, but gives you that flexibility. So probably the future for us at the minute, it'll be more the hybrid model, to have a base to go to for sure, but then also have the flexibility of working from home. So I think it's just getting to the stage where pre-pandemic, everybody was sitting in traffic, had to be in the office, sitting at your desk. You know, for the vast majority of people, that's true. And then all of a sudden, it was the flexibility of, you know, I could drop the kids to school, go home, work, and still be very productive. So even though it was a terrible time for everybody over the last year and a half for multiple reasons, the positives that we can see now coming out in the green shoots of post-pandemic is that, you know, there is a new way of working, a new way of thinking, and it takes that lot of stress out of it as well, I think, going forward. So that could be a positive we could probably take. The support and just even the setting of where it is, because I would have held events as well in the Glandore Cork facility. So that was very accommodating. Barry's very good at setting things up, and there was never any stress with it as such. We had different events in MTU and everything else. There wasn't much stress there because the guys are very good. But even when I was doing the events through Glandore, you tell Barry how many were coming. That was it. Catering was organised. Everything was done in a one-stop shop. And the setting then was always spectacular because it was overlooking the River Lee onto City Hall, as you know. And it gives that big impact. So at that side of it, it sets the tone right as well for a lot of the people that we would look to network and work with over time as well. It just gives a good springboard, in my opinion. It's just a great facility on that front. So, and then there's all the other good stuff that you would do for my team as well, and the event side of it that would be set up. The event calendar, it's always very organized, and it's always very, very, very good as well, you know. So there's multiple things. We're always very good on that front. I always found them very, very good to get a good springboard in as a signpost as well, depending on how, if you're a smaller enterprise like I would have been at the beginning, just to start off as a newer brand. I mean, when we were a newer brand coming into the space that we work in. You also have good connections with the Enterprise Ireland and the IDA, depending on how big of an organization you might be. So there is a lot of overarching business supports out there. And again, if you're starting off even as a one-man band, as they say, the Leo offices, the local enterprise, are fantastic supports. So there's multiple ways of doing it, but it's just about how you get that information. And you would get that information then from the chambers around Ireland, Dublin Chamber, Fingal Chamber, Cork Chamber. They're a great signpost as well for different supports depending on the size of your business. So that in my opinion, I'd say just they would be a good starting point if for anybody that would look to get in there. And again, the bigger multinationals would talk to Enterprise Ireland and the IDA. So we have a lot of good support networks here that people should be singing their praises of, really. Look what they've done over the last 25, 30 years with the industries that we have here. It's incredible. Yeah, it's definitely Team Ireland on that front, because even part of delegations to the US and the UK and everything else, as part of it, there is a big one in Cork. We are Cork, and you know, it's all about, I'm on the board of the STEM Southwest as well, and it's all about looking at talent pipelines in this part of the country, but we're connecting then with other clusters around the country as well. But everybody does pull in the same direction. There is a good networking side of it there, and it doesn't matter what business you might be in. Again, it's like my grandfather would always say to me when I was young, it's always important what you know. Education is important, but he said sometimes it's more important than who you know, because somebody could know somebody else, and that's just the way Ireland is very open that way. People say, sure, look, I know such and such, have a conversation, and you could have a meeting, and green shoots pop up from that as well. So yeah, the networking piece in Ireland is huge. Unfortunately, we have it's been taken away from us a little bit over the last number of years, but that'll come back as well, and I can't wait. There won't be an invitation turned down, I'd say, for a while.